The price you are looking at right now is fake, and when it finally corrects, most people will be locked out permanently. Stop what you're doing, close the extra tabs, look at the number on your phone. What does it say? Low 70s. That's what nearly every Western feed shows. Spot price, fixed price. Charts look calm. Technicals suggest consolidation. You are being told the market is stable. It is not. The number on your screen is not delayed. It is not incomplete. It is wrong. Not slightly wrong, structurally wrong. It is a ghost signal from a pricing system that no longer controls the real market. Because while you were watching that ticker, physical silver in Asia is trading at nearly double that price. Not contracts, not futures, metal you can touch. Retail bars are changing hands at prices that convert to roughly $130 per ounce. Pause there. One screen says 71, the street says 130. That is not volatility, that is rupture. An 80+% spread between paper price and physical price does not exist in a functioning commodity market. It only appears when the mechanism connecting the two has failed. Small spreads mean liquidity. Medium spreads mean stress. Extreme spreads mean fracture. This is fracture. And here is the question that matters, the one we will answer before this ends. If this gap is real, why hasn't it been closed? You already know the argument you're going to hear. Taxes, fabrication, shipping, different bar sizes, different markets. Ignore it. No combination of taxes, minting costs, insurance, or transport adds $50 per ounce, not even close. At most, you get 10, maybe 15. So where does the rest come from? Panic, scarcity, currency flight. Buyers in Asia are not negotiating price, they are escaping monetary risk. They know something you are not supposed to notice. At the paper price, metal does not exist. The quoted price is the cost of a contract that settles in cash. The street price is the cost of survival. And right now, survival costs triple digits. This is definitive proof that arbitrage is dead. In a healthy market, institutions would erase this gap instantly. They would buy cheap metal in the West, convert it, ship it, and sell it higher. Risk-free profit. That trade is not happening. Not because it isn't profitable, but because it is impossible. The pipeline is clogged. Refining capacity is limited. Secure transport is constrained, and the inventory backing the paper market is not liquid. If a large withdrawal were attempted today, delivery would fail. Cash settlement would be forced. That is why the gap remains open. The bridge between paper and physical has burned. This is bifurcation. Two prices, two markets, two realities. In one world, silver is abundant, digital, and cheap. In the other, it is scarce, delayed, and expensive. Paper traders live in the first. Physical holders live in the second. And history is clear about which one wins. But here is where most people make a fatal mistake. They assume this means instant collapse. It doesn't. This is not an overnight implosion. This is a slow, grinding retreat. The institutions involved are hurt, not dead. Their losses look terrifying in isolation, but relative to their capital buffers, they are survivable. Painful, public, not terminal. This is not insolvency, it is liquidity stress. And that difference determines everything that comes next. Liquidity crises create volatility. Solvency crises create collapse. What you are about to witness is a war of attrition. Rules will change, margins will rise, volatility will spike, cash settlement will be enforced if necessary. This has happened before. It will happen again.
Which is why leverage is a trap. The institutions no longer control direction, but they still control speed. And now we resolved the open loop. Why did the physical market break free? Because supply just changed, permanently. At the start of this year, new export controls quietly went live in the world's largest refining hub. Not a headline ban, a licensing regime. In practice, a wall. Only state-aligned entities can export. Private refiners are blocked. Domestic demand comes first, and there is no surplus. Industrial consumption exceeds production by a massive margin. Solar, electronics, energy systems, defense supply chains. Every ounce is needed internally. Exporting under these conditions makes no strategic sense, so the gate closed. This is not temporary, this is structural. Western markets are deficit markets. They rely on imports. Remove one major supplier and the system destabilizes. Now supply must be competed for at higher prices. This triggers hoarding, not speculation, insurance. When manufacturers fear interruption, they overorder just in case. That behavior accelerates shortages. This demand cannot be hedged with paper. Factories need metal, not promises. And this leads us to the most dangerous number in the system: registered inventory. Not total inventory, deliverable inventory. Metal that can actually leave the vault. That number is now measured in days. Most vault metal does not belong to the exchange. It belongs to private holders who are not selling. Only a shrinking fraction is available. That fraction is the countdown clock. When it hits zero, delivery stops, cash settlement begins, and the paper price becomes meaningless overnight. That is the real risk. And it happens fast. Inventory does not drain linearly in panics, it disappears. When the headline hits sub-threshold inventory, the rush begins. Funds demand metal, manufacturers secure supply at any cost. We have seen this before in other metals. When it breaks all at once. So now you have three forces converging: a paper market bleeding liquidity, a structural supply cutoff, and a delivery system running on fumes. This guarantees repricing, but not in a straight line. The path forward will be violent: sharp rallies, hard crashes, margin hikes, stop-loss hunts. This is deliberate. The goal is exhaustion. They want you shaken out before the reset. Expect false breakdowns, expect sudden drops, expect engineered chaos. This is how weak hands are removed, and this is why leverage fails. The roadmap is a staircase: grind higher, chop sideways, sudden gaps, violent pullbacks. Boredom will be weaponized. The media will declare the rally dead, repeatedly. Meanwhile, inventory continues to fall. 35 million. 30, 25. Eventually, the divergence becomes unsustainable. The target is triple digits. The math demands it. Current prices do not destroy demand, they encourage it. Only much higher prices force recycling and substitution, so price must rise, but on institutional timing. Once exposure is neutralized, resistance vanishes. At that point, narratives flip. The same voices calling this over will call it inevitable. So what do? You stop playing their game. You stop treating paper price as value. You treat it as opportunity. You think like an industrial buyer, not a speculator. You measure ounces, not dollars. You avoid panic premiums. You avoid leverage. You avoid promises. Because when the system resolves, paper settles in currency. Physical settles in reality. The window is still open, but it is closing, and when it shuts, there will be no rewind. Choose carefully which side of the divide you want to stand on.